You check your bank balance more than you'd like to admit. Maybe once a day. Maybe more when things are tight. You tell yourself it's just a number. But your body doesn't believe that. Your palms sweat a little. Your chest tightens if the number is lower than you expected. None of that makes sense if money is just paper and data. And that's exactly the point. Your brain was never built to understand money at all. It was built for something much older, and money accidentally hijacked it. Start with the obvious question. Humans have used money in some form for roughly 5,000 years. That sounds like a long time, until you compare it to how long your brain has actually existed in its current form, which is closer to 200,000 years. For almost the entire span of human existence, there was no currency, no bank balance, no credit score. There was only food, safety, and social standing within a small group of people you knew personally. Your brain still runs on that older operating system. Money is just a new piece of software trying to run on very old hardware, and the glitches show up everywhere. Take loss aversion, a concept formalized by psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky in the late 1970s. Their research found something strange. Losing $100 doesn't just feel bad. It feels roughly twice as bad as gaining $100 feels good. The pain of loss outweighs the pleasure of an equivalent gain by a wide margin. Why would your brain be wired so unevenly? Because for most of human history, a loss could genuinely kill you. Losing your food stores before winter wasn't an inconvenience. It was a death sentence. Gaining a little extra food was nice, but it didn't carry the same existential weight as losing what you already had. Your brain still treats a stock market dip the same way it once treated an empty grain store, even though nobody starves because a portfolio dropped 3%. This explains something you've probably felt directly. Have you ever held onto a bad investment far longer than made sense, just because selling it would mean admitting the loss was real? That's not irrational in the way people assume. It's an ancient survival instinct, misapplied to a spreadsheet. Then there's the way your brain treats money differently depending on where it comes from, something behavioral economist Richard Thaler named mental accounting. Thaler's research showed that people treat a tax refund completely differently from an equivalent amount earned through a paycheck, even though both are simply money sitting in the same account. A refund gets spent more freely, almost recklessly, labeled in your head as bonus money, found money, not real money. But it is exactly as real as every other dollar you own. Your brain doesn't experience money as one fungible pool. It experiences money as a set of separate mental jars, each with its own emotional rules attached. Consider how differently you feel about $50 won in a casual bet versus $50 from your actual paycheck. Same value. Completely different feeling. That difference lives entirely inside your head, not inside the money itself. Now go back further, past economics entirely, into anthropology. Researcher Nicholas Humphrey and others studying primate social behavior have pointed out that long before currency existed, status within a group was tracked through something called social capital. Who shared food with whom? Who owed favors to whom? Who had proven themselves reliable enough to trust in a crisis? This wasn't written down anywhere. It was tracked entirely through memory, gossip, and reputation inside small tribal groups rarely larger than 150 people, a number popularized by anthropologist Robin Dunbar, and now commonly called Dunbar's number. Money essentially became a stand-in for that older tracking system, a portable, universal proof of trustworthiness and contribution that could work even with total strangers, outside the boundaries of your immediate tribe. That's the real reason money feels so tangled up with self-worth, even when you know intellectually that it shouldn't be. For nearly all of human history, your value to the group and your resources were the same thing, tracked by the same social mechanism. Your brain never fully separated those two ideas, even now, even in a world of digital paychecks and anonymous transactions between people who will never meet. This is also why financial comparison feels so uniquely painful. Seeing a stranger's expensive car doesn't just register as neutral information. It registers, somewhere ancient and pre-verbal, as a status signal, the modern equivalent of watching another hunter return with more meat than you. Social comparison research consistently shows that people report feeling less satisfied with a raise if a coworker got a slightly bigger one, even though their own absolute financial position improved. Objectively, you're richer. Subjectively, you feel poorer. Why would evolution build a brain that responds to relative status instead of absolute resources? Because in a small tribal group, relative status was survival. It determined who ate first, who mated, who got protected when trouble arrived. Absolute wealth meant nothing without a group to rank it against. None of this means money itself is meaningless or that your reactions to it are foolish. It means the reactions are inherited, running on instincts that predate spreadsheets by hundreds of thousands of years. The anxiety you feel refreshing a banking app isn't a personal failure of discipline. It's a survival circuit lighting up in response to a threat it was never designed to correctly interpret. Here's the part that should genuinely surprise you. Once you know the mechanism, you can actually work with it instead of against it. Automating savings works, according to research from behavioral economists including Richard Thaler and Shlomo Benartzi, precisely because it removes the moment of felt loss entirely. Money that leaves your account before you consciously register having it never triggers the same aversion as money you have to willingly hand over. You're not overriding your ancient wiring through pure willpower. You're quietly routing around it. So the next time you feel that small spike of dread checking your balance, or that strange thrill spending a tax refund a little too fast, notice what's actually happening underneath it. That isn't really about the money. It's a 200,000-year-old survival system, reacting to a modern number on a modern screen, doing exactly what it evolved to do in a world that no longer quite exists. You check your balance because some ancient part of you is still counting grain stores before winter, still guessing whether the tribe will eat.